This is the murder of Thomas Merriam. Thomas John Merriam was born in 1956 in Encinitas, California. Thomas was the director and co-founder of the Butterfly Farm in Encino, along with his partner Pat Flanagan. Thomas was fascinated with the magic of butterflies and its coming out of his crystallization. Before starting the Butterfly Farm, neither Thomas nor his partner Pat had any experience with butterflies. Thomas Merriam was also very close to his stepdaughter, Jade Jahn. He came into her life when she was 13 years old, and the two quickly formed a close bond. During late 2020, Thomas was resting at home, recovering from a fall he had after eye surgery. Jade had picked him up from the rehab center, and she would stop by often to take care of him and get anything that he needed. The two lived next door to each other, and despite her being an adult now, Jade still cared for Thomas and was very close to him. On January 1st, 2021, sheriff deputies found Thomas Merriam's body in a home on South Nordo in Solana Beach on New Year's Day. They were responding to a call about a welfare check. Thomas Merriam was a very sick man. Prior to his fall on December 15, 2020, Thomas was being treated for alcohol withdrawal and was getting treatment for his heart and liver issues, having already a pacemaker installed. On the day that Thomas' lifeless body was discovered, his friend Adam Siplak had allegedly called the San Diego Sheriff Department claiming that Jade, Thomas' stepdaughter, might be involved in his death. Thomas' lifeless body was actually found in the driveway of his home, covered with a white sheet next to the garbage cans. Jade was questioned days prior about Thomas' disappearance, but she claims to the authorities that she did not know where he was after she had dropped him off or where he could have gone. When an autopsy was done of Thomas Merriam's body, they found that he had higher than normal level of sleep medication in his system, along with several other prescription drugs. About a week later, a friend of Jade, Alan Roach, tipped off the authorities and implicated Jade in her stepfather's murder, Thomas Merriam. He stated that Jane wanted to get revenge back on Thomas because she caught him looking through nude pictures of her and partners that she had been with in the past, and that sent her into a rage. After doing a thorough investigation, authorities found text messages between Jade and Alan before and around the time of Thomas' murder, implicating her in his demise. When her stepfather tried to get back on his feet after his injuries, Jade apparently decided to go to his home and clean it in order to make his return home better. However, she claimed that during this process, Thomas' computer turned on from sleeping mode, allowing her to see an explicit photo that she thought was her. Hence, she seemingly decided to start investigating further, only to find even more explicit pictures of herself on the computer belonging to the father she thought of as father. It was the most violating, just awful, gut-wrenching feeling ever. I felt sick. I felt like I couldn't even touch my own skin, Jade confessed. This seemingly prompted her to contact Alan. Among the messages exchanged between the two, the statement, "If you have a problem, I can fix it for you," which had been made by Roach, indicating that the man might have been open to committing sinister crimes. After Jade's arrest, the police went through her car and online messages, which helped them accumulate much evidence against her. Her exchange with Alan Roach contained phrases like, "I just dosed the hell out of him." However, the defendant claimed that Thomas had taken pills on his own and was unable to go to his house, something that she claimed that even she was unable to help him with despite her effort. However, the physical evidence showed that Jade did have a hand in her stepfather's demise and that she was very angry and felt betrayed by him. After forcing her stepfather to overdose, Jane panicked and she did not know what to do with Thomas' body, but she knew that she had to get rid of it somehow and make it look like an accident. However, her plan was not strategic enough, and it was not smart either, to leave his body in front of his driveway covered up by a white blanket. It was obvious that it would somehow be linked back to her, since she and Thomas was so close despite her mother being divorced from him for so many years. The neighbors were well aware that these two used to have dinner together at least 2 to 3 times a week. I can understand how Jade will feel so betrayed by Thomas' action. After all, she did consider him her father, and she was so close to him, and that indeed is a major betrayal. What I think is that Jade should have confronted Thomas about what she found or allegedly found on his computer, because it is important to note that those pictures was never recovered, although authorities do believe that they were there. And that was one of the main reasons why she got upset, and that what led her into murdering her stepfather, Thomas Merriam. What Jane did to Thomas Merriam was wicked and evil. Although you might have thought that he did something so horrible towards you, to betray you and lose your trust and your confidence within him, you never gave him a chance for someone that you loved and care about to defend himself, to explain himself. Although the explanation might not have amounted to anything to you, she should have at least given him that. And it did not justify whatsoever her taking his life. What she could have done was end the relationship that she had with Thomas. Completely wiped him out of her life altogether. For her to turn around and take his life because of pictures that she found on his computer is unjust. The trial for Jade Jahn began on December 7, 2022, almost 2 years after Thomas Merriam's death. After a few weeks of the legal process, Jahn was found guilty on December 22, 2022, something she seemingly was shocked by. She and her legal team claimed that they were ready to appeal the conviction. She was ultimately sentenced to 25 years to life in prison on March 6, 2023. As of this date, Jade Jahn is serving time at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, California. She will be eligible for parole in August 2038. I hope that Jade Jahn could find the help that she needs to get through such a betrayal that she experienced due to Thomas' actions, allegedly. Prayers and condolences goes out to Thomas' family and friends. May his soul rest in peace. Until next time on the Meaningful Talk Crime Doc, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch up with you guys later in the comment section.